Welcome everybody to the We Them Brothers podcast, episode number 3. And of course we got a special guest in the house. Well, I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm Jimmy Hicks. We got, well, you're going to be not the star today.
We don't even have to keep going over it. People know who I am, bro. We don't have to do this every episode, right? I am Anthony Rogerson,
a.k.a.
the star of the goddamn show. I defer a little bit when we have guests because
we have a special guest.
We have special guests today. Special guest. So I got
we got a special star. Special guest star today.
I'm going to be the star. She's a special star.
Special guest star. You know how like on SVU when they have the special guest, like it's a big celebrity that comes in and plays like
we needed the SVU music. Gotta introduce the guest. Right. Digression.
We got to digress. Yeah. So very special guest today. This special lady has capped in 2 months in in this year 2021. Year to date, she sold over 20 million in sales volume. Successfully built her team in less than 2 years.
Drop a bomb. We got a bomb.
Top 5%.
Drop the mic.
Right. We gonna have this some air horns and everything. Yeah. Top 5% producer. Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely, talented Miss Shay Gray.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
I am so excited to be here.
Well,
awesome. So we're gonna jump right into it with I guess the question that is on everybody's mind, especially all the budding real estate agents that are watching the program. What was your welcome to real estate moment? So like when you first started, like what was your like, oh, this is real? What was that moment like for you?
So I left my corporate job right in the middle of the pandemic. So everything shut down in March, and that's when I left.
Okay.
Jumped out there full time. I was booming, right? Well, I actually had 12 terminations.
Oh.
Just different things happened. People were losing their jobs, and financing kind of got in the way. But the one that stood out to me the most was when the clients were under contract for 2 months. We were, of course, supposed to close in 30 days, but it actually took about 75 days for them to close. So in the middle of it, the seller was the agent, and the lender wasn't.
It wasn't Homestar.
No.
It wasn't Jimmy.
Definitely
not.
Definitely not. But we were just having some. You're right. We were just having some things coming up, so it was a lot of miscommunication with the agent and things like that. She was coming for my commission in order to continue on for her to sign extension after extension and whatever. So my clients, they had already enrolled their son into school. So I had that, and I had them calling me at least 3 or 4 times a day, and every day I'm probably drinking.
That's fine. No judgments.
And I'm talking about wine, right?
The hard stuff, right?
Right. It was some shot nights. Just because I'm such a passionate person and I really care and want to help people, and I just felt so helpless. I've just kind of my first full year of I've never been in this situation before. Mm-hmm. And so we finally got through it. I had them write letters, and I did everything you can think of. I bought the agent stuff. We finally got to clear to close, and on the day of closing, they bought me this huge key with my name and all this stuff on it, 3 T-shirts that said I sell, and a notepad that I went through. They bought me all this stuff, and then they closed on their home. And you talking about in tears. I'm talking.
You talking about you was in tears.
Yes. Yes, I was. Right. Because it was I had 12 terminations. Right. I don't have a W-2 anymore. There's no paycheck every 2 weeks. Right. We had just bought a house like a crazy person. I jumped when we just bought a house. Right. But I was boohooing. Hubby cooked the whole dinner, and it was a real moment of welcome to real estate, because it is so up and down.
That is a great story, and that's not even a story. That's a testimony.
Yes,
right. That's a great testimony, and I think that it's an important testimony because we don't put the boohooing on social media. We don't put the we don't put the boohooing on Instagram, right? We put the shiny stuff,
right?
Everyone is attracted.
Nobody wants to see the labor pains. They just want to see the baby.
Yep.
No one wants to see the labor pains. Damn, you were smart.
I do remember that saying.
That's a good Arkansas education, man.
Okay, that was a little slight. There's an Arkansas connection.
We'll get there. We gotta.
I feel like a true outsider right now. Because I was about 40 before I even knew Arkansas was a real place. But we'll get to that place. We'll get there too. But no,
one of those.
No, I'm not one of them.
You pronounce Arkansas.
Arkansas.
How do you pronounce it? That's not
Arkansas. We had to fight.
She said, I don't want to palm.
The one that really irritates me is there's black people in Arkansas.
It's the South. Not all of us went to the North. Like some of us.
Yeah. So that is that's a great testimony. And again, I think that I would love in our industry, right, or in our reality, more transparency in terms of the growing pains that you go through, and someone in your seat goes through the growing pains that we go through in our seat. In terms of those crying moments, right? Because
we have those too.
We have those too, right?
Yeah.
Like here you are now, leader of a team, business is flourishing, doing great numbers, right? Successful by all accounts, right? Another level of success because you were already successful in your prior career, but here you switch gears and here you are now successful. Speak to just that a little bit, just kind of as Jimmy mentioned, like starting your own team, all of those things, like the trials, the triumphs and all of that, and building your business and building your brand.
So where it started was marketing. Before, I've always been into sales. I worked at AT&T and I actually did door-to-door sales, residential. So I was the one that knocked on your door and tried to sell you cable.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was actually very successful. And then that transitioned to kind of like an online AT&T thing. So we've always kind of had like a contract. I built a team from that. So all you had to do at AT&T, all you had to do was go on Facebook, join the groups, and post ads and say, hey, do you want internet service or something?
Okay.
So I had a team about 10 people there. And before I took that jump, I was like, well, if I'm doing all of this for like kind of, well, at the time, it's still kind of for like another company, I could do it for myself.
Right.
So I did switch brokerages, and this is something that a lot of people don't talk about either. I switched brokerages about 6 times. Just because not every broker is going to be for you. They're great.
In what period of time? I'm sorry. In what period? Because I want you to really like hit that point.
Okay.
In what period you switched brokerages? So you've been in the industry full time since 2016, right? Is that accurate?
Last year was full time.
Okay, so
I've had my license.
You've had your license since 2016. You've been a full time agent for call it a year, right? So in the industry 5 years. In that time, you switched brokerages 6 times, admittedly, right? What do you gain? What do you lose? Because people think, and even in our seat as lenders, people think, well, I'm gonna just go over here and I'm gonna be a lender at this place because Homestar wasn't doing it the way that I want it to be done. It's not. In our experience, because Jimmy and I haven't switched, but we've seen the switch. I've seen agents do it. I don't think it's a plug and play. You just can't pick your stuff up and just go set up shop someplace else and still have that momentum, right? So did you lose momentum? How did you regain it? What were your thoughts and your triumphs and troubles with that stuff? So
I did lose a lot, and I think the biggest problem was that I wasn't doing enough research. I was just jumping because somebody said, like, oh, come over here. We do this. They don't take as much money. Right.
That's the number one reason.
That one.
They don't take.
Oh my God. And in the particular place I'm at, they take too much money. Right. So I'm just like, oh, okay, I don't know. So I was just jumping. And then I felt like because I still had my corporate job at the time. So I was still kind of going back to the corporate life because it just seemed like it wasn't coming together. Like nothing was clicking.
The checks weren't coming.
Right.
We got 5 million viewers, by the way. Last week we had 3, it got up to 5. We got 5 million. You speak to them, tell them we don't need to speak in codes. That money wasn't coming.
It wasn't coming
like
at
it is
all.
today.
So real estate got put on the back burner. I went back to my check every 2 weeks.
Right.
And I did that up until I was literally pregnant with my little girl in 2019. When I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So all the marketing stuff that I've learned, I started just kicking it in gear. I started learning about ads. I started doing more research. Started meeting people that really support me. So that part is what made me like, okay, I'm going to join this brokerage and I'm not going anywhere because I have the support.
Right. Okay.
And when you have that support, you can't add value to that.
What would you say to talk about the support, right? Because not everyone, I don't like to speak broadly, but most of us chase the dollar, right? Like I can go, Jimmy and I can go someplace else. We get paid, in our terms, it's called basis points. In your terms, it's percentages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We can go someplace and get more basis points. We can go someplace and get a larger percentage of what we do, right? But we also know that the support that we have here and in our seats here, like we have, pretty much a dedicated team of processors that are only our processors, right? So that lends some familiarity to when you're working a file with Jimmy. A processors that may be on the email that you're already familiar with because you've already did 3 or 4 loans with us, right? So something like that is I just snuck something in. Shameless move right there. Yeah. I should do this for a living. But anyway, in any case, so for us, that support that I tell people it's like the AT&T, but the old Verizon commercial was how big is your network, right? Remember that one person and there was the network behind it? Yep. So for us, our support is we're actually like that old Verizon commercial. It's us. So when you talk to Anthony or when you talk to Jimmy, that whole team that's behind us is very, very important because they're essentially the engine, right, to push it. So to talk about that support, what arm of the support was most important to you or more valuable to you, or I would say valuable to you, right? Like, what would you pay more for? Like, I love this support and I would even give up a little bit more to get this support.
So, to what you just said, it's about seeing the bigger picture.
Right.
So, what the support I got was how to build this business. This business is more than just selling and buying homes. Like, what does your P&L look like? Profit and loss statement. Like, what are your expenses? What are you spending on marketing? Can you afford marketing?
Right.
Like, what does that look like to leverage?
Right.
Like, I didn't realize leverage was such an important word to me until this business, because it was a point where I called this particular mentor of mine and I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore because I'm overwhelmed. I'm dropping the ball with some clients. There's no agent. I'm sorry, no agent is perfect. I was dropping the ball because I didn't have the right support and systems and like the true business set up.
Right.
So when they provided that for me and opened my mind to, okay, well, you need a transaction coordinator, you need an assistant, you need a showing agent. Now that I have all these things in place, I can breathe.
That work for you. Right. Like, and again, and I'm not saying that those things don't work, but it's specific to your needs.
Right.
Which is important to identify, right? Like, I think so, but go ahead.
No, I just had like probably about 12 clients at the time and trying to show everybody, and my daughter is 2 years old.
Right.
My daycare raises her.
Right.
So when I get home, I mean, this is tough. I was at my first time mom, so I'm extra.
Right.
So it's just like from the time I pick her up at 5:30 to 8:30, like that's my special family time, and then clients, I'm getting fired because I can't go do a showing at 6:30.
Right.
Like, What? So I mean, well, to that aspect, everybody needs help.
Yeah.
You have to have a cutoff.
Let's not answer the phone on a Sunday at 5:30 for no reason.
Man, I say y'all off.
Same thing.
I said you got Monday through Friday, maybe Saturday morning. I said, lenders are probably let's just call them on Monday. Because I just try to keep that in mind.
Passion. I was
We don't get this often.
Man, I'm hungry and I am like, like go getter, but I always consider other people's feelings. I always put myself in their shoes. I don't care who it is or what business we're doing. And I just try to get, especially the client that's all antsy as ever, which I get it. Most of my clients are first time home buyers.
Okay.
So gotta hold that hand.
Gotcha.
I gotta tell them like we do this is why, and all of that. But sometimes it's like if you set the right expectation up front, you'll be okay.
Gotcha. So go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
Speaking a little bit more on team building, because I mean you've built a successful team over the past 2 years, meaning that you've done this in the middle of a pandemic.
I did.
Right.
I'm still shocked.
Right. Now the degree of difficulty goes up a little bit because you've done this in the middle of just like pretty much the most uncertain circumstances that I think any of us have come up with. So speak a little bit more to that aspect as far as like what it would take to build maybe not necessarily a perfect team, but the best team for like an aspiring agent. Maybe they've gotten to a point where like, okay, now I may need a transaction coordinator. I may need somebody to help me with listings or showings or whatnot. So speak a little bit to that as far as like, what do you think it would take to build that perfect team?
You definitely need time. I did not go into this thinking, honestly, really being honest, I didn't think I was going to go into this to have a team. I just wanted to be by myself and just do my job. But one of my classmates, Arkansas,
the real A,
right? She was
we're not gonna start there.
She was the first agent on my team, and she started off just kind of shadowing and things like that. And so she was just like, you just really inspired me to go out there and get it. And I just really wanted to help. My calling is helping people. But I always say, God, that is so broad. I don't know what that means. Well, in real estate, it means everything. You can help people in so many different ways. So it opened up another stream of income. Okay, let's get that done. But it was just really making a difference because most real estate agents fail their first year or quit, their first year in real estate. So just to have someone to just really have a plan and a system. Right. You have to have a system in place. I'm a system person. I don't have a system, meaning like your first 90 days, I'm giving you a checklist of everything you need to have done. You need to have your LLC, your EIN, your business email. I don't want to see no @Gmail in that Yahoo. But, but you just have to have the time and be a little nurturing and understanding, patience. I know a lot of agents that are some of my friends, and it was like, I want to build a team. And I'm like, but you a little mean. Like, I don't know. I mean, but there's somebody out there for everybody, but...
You got to find another mean person.
Yeah, like, you got to find somebody to know how to handle, the personality. And I feel like a really great mentor can handle, or coach can handle all personalities. Now, I worked at a psych unit. I've worked at a behavior unit. I've had a lot of jobs throughout my life. And I love that.
Identify with customers and know like little idiosyncrasies and what to expect from people.
I can get along with any personality. I don't know what that says about me, but
says a lot.
I can listen. I'm here because you have to adapt.
Yep.
You have to adapt. And a lot of people are like, what do you do now? I'm like, excuse me? I'm sorry I don't want to be 50 years old and hate my dang job because I didn't experiment. But, But this is what I truly love to do. So you have to really love it. You have to have the patience for it. And everything is a system. Like my system is set up so detailed. I have my own website where you can log into a portal. And it has all like the agent material. Kind of really set up like a broker.
Okay. So shameless plug or we do non-shameless plug.
Yeah. No shame.
What you said. We're also going to have Shay's information in our links and everything. But you said your own website. What is your website? So our audience will know what it is.
It is www.graycorealty.com.
www.graycorealty.com. We will have the link for it, but I just want to mention that because you said your own website. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I might have stolen your train of thought.
But no, you're fine. But another big advice for anyone that wants to start a team is to definitely. I have so many people that helps me with things. So I have a tech guy that handles like my CRM stuff. So instead of us thinking like, oh shoot, I forgot to follow up with somebody, the system got you. Okay. Once you put that person in there as a lead or, a current client, whatever the case may be, it knows who the lender is. They know what
Homestar Financial. Your CRM should be set up for Homestar Financial.
Amazing.
Hold on, be quiet, Jimmy. Let her talk.
Homestar is amazing. What helps me, just really helps me is a lot of people, when they do go to the new construction route, I hate getting people started with the lender and then they go to new construction and they're like, oh, you got to go to my lender in order to get closing costs. I don't have to worry about that. You with Homestar already. So most likely they're going to be a preferred lender.
You can come back again. I like you. Get you in here again one more time.
Because we just closed one last Friday, which was like 320, about 327, 330 or something like that. I'm talking about, that was just the perfect situation. It really was, because I started with her in January. I know we're kind of jumping, but I just wanted to tell this little tidbit again. But I started with her in January. She actually reached out to me on Instagram. So that's going back to the marketing. That's how it started. And she was like, I want to list. And then I want to buy. Listed her home. We
so
actually...
you got a double whammy.
Wait. Listed her home, right? We got all these offers. It was her and her mom. We picked an offer. Mom doesn't want to sell.
I'd have kicked mom out. But no, I would have done
I was like, so I came into this year like, I'm going to focus on listings. I love my buyers. I'm hardcore. Most people are going to sit here and be like, yeah, listen. Oh, look, I have a passion for my buyers. I do. I mean, I get listings, but, anyway.
She has to talk about Arkansas.
Is that a place? I don't want no problem. I'm sure it's a beautiful place.
New York bias, like
I don't have any bias. I don't have any bias. Go Braves. I don't have a New York bias. Go Braves. Right. We need to wrap this up because I got to get to the parade anyhow. Go Braves.
But when she was like, "It's okay, Shay. I still want to buy with you." So I got her with Jimmy. And we looked, really didn't see anything. She found the new construction, and then guess what? Who's the preferred lender?
Homestar Financial, Jimmy Hicks.
All day.
Done.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful home. I wish there was homes still on the market like that at that price.
Yeah.
The place was huge. Just the bedroom alone. I was like,
when did you go into so you just... Shay, you dropping some stuff. Like we try to condense this thing, but there's so many things that you're talking about.
I know.
That don't apologize. Don't apologize.
You dropping jewels right now.
You dropping some interesting jewels for our 6. We just got to 6 million views. 6 million. Damn, don't look too hard because it won't look like 6 million if you stare at it. Trust the comments. Just trust it. But from talking about building a team, from talking about working with buyers, talking about people, agents wanting to get into this industry to be with sellers, talking about new construction. So there's a lot, like just those 4 points alone, like those are different. Those are hour-long segments within themselves, right?
Yeah.
But let's touch on one or two of those, right? Like, was talked about the last one. You talked about you just closed this week, right? Last Friday, and you were like, I wish that property or that type of property and price point still existed, right? Mm-hmm. You just closed on last Friday. Why doesn't that property still exist, or why doesn't that price point? I'm putting it on. This is a segue. Why? I mean, you just closed Friday, right? Didn't she go on the contract for that new construction 3 weeks ago and close on Friday? Doesn't it work like that?
Hell no.
Tell us how our new construction that closed on Friday. How long ago did you write that contract for your buyer?
Man, we wrote that contract back in March.
And this is November.
It's November. We just not closing.
Right.
Man, and she has about probably 30,000 in equity. equity in that area. And she just moved in Friday.
Right.
And so with this market, so I will say last year was a whole lot better. When we thought it was hard, it was not hard. Now
2021 was like, hold my beer.
Okay, this first quarter I knocked it out the park. I had 6 closings in January alone.
Right, congratulations.
So I had, thank you. And I had getting a lot of people under contract. I would say between May and September, I was dipping into my savings.
Say that again. Hold on. Because there's some people in the back. Say that again for the 6 million in the back. We got 3 in the front. We got 3 in the back. Say that again.
I feel this is good too, because like people usually see like real estate, and this is one reason why you've probably seen the numbers grow as far as like how many real estate agents are like new real estate agents are in the market right now, because they see Instagram and Facebook like, oh, I get to show houses, I get to dress nice, I get to dress up and go look at these $500,000, $600,000 listings, and like, no, as you can see.
So you were crushing it. You went from crushing it to doing what? To dipping where?
In my savings.
For the people in the back.
We went from having maybe 6, 7 closings a month to like, damn, we only got 2.
Yeah.
We only got 2 this month.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
And this is with a team, so we're all busting our ass trying to find our clients home. It's not getting the client.
Right.
We got that.
Right.
It's being outbidded. Right. I think one client I have is, and she just went under contract. We've been searching for about a year.
So you dropping. You got some good stuff. So it's not. You got the clients.
Yeah, we got good already.
Your team is doing the job. Yeah. Your marketing is doing the job. Yeah. You're controlling your team is doing the job. Your marketing is doing the job. So y'all controlling what y'all can control. You're getting the clients. You are controlling what you can control.
Yep.
Right. The variable is what?
This market.
But
let me also say, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's why I focus on listings. No, sir, no, ma'am. Because I have 4 people on my list that would list with me. But guess what?
They ain't got no place to go.
Thank you.
So if you got a listing, like, where you got to go?
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Right.
Luckily, in my community, I got trying to get my community locked down. So there was one lady, she lives in Virginia, and she was renting a house, so I was able to get, that one was pretty cool. Right. So I was like, I don't have to find her nowhere to go. She lives somewhere else. But those are the perfect situations where I ain't got to find you nowhere to go. But
Right. So we've identified the problem. We know what the problem is, right? The problem isn't unique or isn't new. The problem is inventory, right? From existing inventory on the resale, the inventory in new construction, right? There's no materials for them to build. That's what slows that up. What do you say? We have to be solution based, right? We have to be solution based. We have to be solution based because that's our job, right? If we don't have a solution, our clients don't get serviced, and if our clients don't get serviced, we don't make no money. Right? That's just the cold hard truth of it, right? So there's the helping people part of it. We're all for the helping people part of it. That's the servicing of the clients. But I have a mortgage to pay, right? So there's the money. There's the money part of it, right? So
we also have bills.
We also have bills, right? Like, we're regular people. I know I'm like a podcast star now. Hi, I'm Anthony Robertson, home star finance. Sorry, I got away from. He deals with this every day. He deals with this every day.
I just added to make him look good.
I digress. But how do you, in trying to be solution based, in trying to temper your client and nurture their expectations and all, how do you keep them engaged with the process, right? Like, how early on is it that first consultation where you like, look, sis, I'm not gonna find you no home in 45 days. It's just not working like that. What's your, tell your secret sauce, if you will.
So going back to setting the right expectations. Right. So when I have my first consultation, I'm asking them, I kind of do like just to help you guys out, kind of like a pre-qualification questions. I know if you owe student loans, we ain't going there. But then I go into like, what side of town do you want to be on? Okay, you want to be in Sandy Springs. Well, what did you say you make a month? Or what was your credit? Kind of
160 in Sandy Springs.
Yeah. So do you think about something else? Like, where do you work? Let's start there. Right. So I try to think outside the box and ask deeper questions. And I tell them, listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm not one of those realtors that's going to sugarcoat it and tell you what you want to hear. So this is an interview. I interview my clients. They interview me. Right. Because I'm not the one. I'm not going to... I'm just not going to entertain something that's just not possible.
Right.
And if you trust me, because that's number one, then I got you.
Right.
We're going to get you into something. But I'm gonna
at some point.
At some point.
At some point, you will have a house.
And that's when I go, when is your lease up?
Right.
Like, how much time do we have?
The competition is decreasing, I think, which is what's making it turn a little bit. So I think you're right there. Have we fully made the turn yet? Probably not, right? Probably not. No. You would agree with that, right? Yeah. I don't think we fully.
It's more like a Titanic. Like, it's not going to turn on. It's going to be a slow turn, but we do see a little bit.
You see a difference,
right. So
now, speaking of the turn, because I know it's been a seller's market, so it's pretty much been a smorgasbord of opportunity for listing agents. Mm-hmm. With the market turning, I know that's going to flip, because now those listing agents, they've wielded all this power.
And was acting all steak and everything.
Right.
You were saying?
Finish your highest. You know me like that? Okay.
0 days.
You're not playing no close.
Calling y'all like, can you call the listing agent? You hit it.
Listen, agents. We see you. We see how y'all acting.
It's coming. Go ahead.
I guess speak to that a little bit as far as because you've of course been on both sides. You've been a listing agent and a buyer's agent. So speak to that as far as like how you keep that karma, because you are, like, as a listing agent, you do want to, at the end of the day, get the best deal possible for your clients. But you also want to be mindful, because not to take advantage of this market, because like we said, it's going to turn. So I guess just speak to that as like how you play, not necessarily play both sides, but like how you approach the listing side versus the buyer side.
To add on, right? How you remember when you was at the bottom. Right, because now you're on top. Like, you gotta. There's a balance.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. So
that's another favorite saying.
That's what I'm too. I ain't never gonna say that. Go ahead. I don't want to digress. Scratch that rabbit had a gun. Also, all Kansas thing I just said. But go ahead.
Okay, so
go Braves.
Going back to, remember, I love my buyers. Mm-hmm. So I focus on my buyers at first, because honestly, once the contract is done, the buyer has the power. Right. I like having the power. When I did get on that listing side, I was able to really crush the listing side, because I knew how buyers were, what they're looking for, how they could get out of contracts, different things like that. When I'm a listing agent, I probably am one of those people where you're like,
oh, you're that agent.
So, because here's the deal.
Who invited her?
Here's the deal.
How'd she get here?
Because people will call and text and ask questions that they can see on FMLS. That annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah, I get that.
It does. I just like, listen, you didn't even try.
I get that.
Like, you are just going out. I can't tell. I do try to get permission from my sellers too to have certain conversations. Mm-hmm. But I can't tell you, oh yeah, I got 6 offers in, so one of them is
right.
Like, what do you want me to say? But I will allow you to build a relationship. Right. Sometimes you really click with somebody and you trust them.
Right.
Where you like, I know you're gonna get us to the closing table.
Right.
And you have to go through the lenders, do the research on them. There was one lender I found where I'm like, why is your phone number different from this number, and this number don't work? You're out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do a lot more detailed due diligence on the listing side, just to make sure, like I said, I hate being that listing agent that buyer contract falls through. We got to start over. You don't want to be back on the market. Everybody looks at that as a negative. Even though I tell them all the time, it's, not on the seller, but it looks like something's wrong with your house if you go back on the market.
Which could cause people to try to underbid because, like,
right, and then you screw.
Right, and so when your house goes back on the market, I mean, obviously in this market, when you were a listing agent, you had a backup, and a backup.
Right,
like that.
right.
So it was like, but one of the questions that I would imagine you do get from the buyer's agent who's kind of trying to do his or her due diligence is, well, what happened? Why did it go back?
Yeah, I will be honest.
Right.
I just feel like, something fell through.
You brought the finances. She'd be like, it was Homestar. That's what you do. You try to throw us under the bus. It was Jimmy.
I do want to say this before I forget. To all realtors, agents out there, communicate.
Yes.
I was under contract. The buyer's agent, she barely talked to me.
No.
And then told me the week of that we can't close.
Right.
But if he would have talked to me throughout the process, we could work together and make sure all parties are happy.
Right.
So just communicate.
So I'm sorry.
Cornerstone. We're going to talk about. We say that all the time. It's cornerstone of our business. Like, you got to, even if it's bad news, like, we got to know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Oftentimes, to bring it back full circle, when we talked about the shiny stuff on Instagram. Everybody wants to post a close, and everybody wants to post their boomerang, right? That's easy, right? That's the little dance, right? But the communication part of it, very few people want to deliver the bad news,
right?
Yeah.
Right. And even from our side, like we've been fortunate, and I'm not going to say we are speaking for Jimmy and I. We're not without error or without bad news, but we've been fortunate to not have disastrous news, right? Like sometimes, and again, that's to your point about the relationship and accepting an offer that someone has submitted to you when you're the listing agent, right? You're looking for a synergy there, right? And that relationship is important because while we seem like the Atlanta market is big, it's relatively small. And treating people correctly and building relationships. So, because the next time you might be representing the buyer, and that same
that happened. I had a listing that had 83 offers. She was one that submitted it, and I was like, "No, ma'am."
Yeah. So that the relationship from that position. The relationship from, again, you and Jimmy have an existing relationship. I know it feels like you've known me forever. We just met today. I had that effect on people, but I digressed. That's what I do. But that relationship for Jimmy being able, in the rare instance, to deliver some bad news to you, like this is what's going on, but because you have a relationship with Jimmy, you're confident that he's going to fix it.
Yes.
Right?
But that's why I refer so much business.
How much you refer? You need
a lot. A lot. So, but I do want to have y'all backs for a second because a lot of times I have to talk to my client about the lender process just a little bit because they are so quick to blame you guys if something goes wrong. And so I think it was a situation where, when you get to the underwriting phase, we don't quite know what the underwriter's going to ask for. So they may ask for something and we may have to redo the debt to income and all that stuff. So now we got to look at the student loan and they're like, well, why didn't they ask this before? Well, this situation didn't come up before. So I feel like lenders get such a bad name when it's not your fault. But if you don't understand the process as an agent, you kind of feel your client too.
Well, and understanding so Jimmy, what do conditions do? No, Jimmy, tell you what this is. It's an Arkansas saying. Conditions do what? What do Arkansas saying?
Sometimes conditions create more conditions because if you turn in something that causes the underwriter to ask another question, then they're going to ask for more information. Like now, you turn in a bank statement. We thought you needed this amount of money, but you turned us in a bank statement and it had a large cash deposit on it. Well, we didn't know that beforehand, so we wouldn't have known to ask you about a large cash deposit. Now we know. Now we're asking. And
that happened in the third week because we didn't know in the first week. So when we know, you all know.
Right.
And there was something that you just said, and just talking about everything that you just said about kind of educating your client or being able to talk your client off the edge. There's so many times where, and I think this is my opinion this is wrong. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's a realtor will say, well, that's the lender's job. Right. There are certain things that are our job. Like there's things that are definitively our job. But there's a part of your job that I need to have a functioning we need to have a functioning understanding of, right? Yeah. Because we're gonna be on the phone. I'm gonna be on the phone, and Jimmy's gonna be on the phone with our client, and I need to have a functioning understanding so I can speak to it a little bit, then deflect to Shay. Well, I know this about it, but Shay is the expert on this, so you want to follow up with her. Right? I think we get into trouble, and this has happened to Jimmy and I, when we're working with a realtor that feels that just certain things are the lender's job, and they don't have what they're told. They don't, and that's wrong.
So So I've been told, because I have a system for my agents, like if you have a buyer, these are the questions to ask. Mm-hmm. And so some of them have been told, well, that's lender's questions. I'm not about to waste my lender's time.
Thank you.
First off, if I know you owe student loans, out. I mean, you may be able to work on it, but maybe what's your credit score? What
creative things we can do?
Yeah, but just like if you had a bankruptcy that discharged last year, if I don't ask that question, why would I send it?
Now you sending me a hot lead on Sunday. You calling Jimmy and say it's Sunday morning.
You call this person on Sunday, and you wasted. Man, you know what? And I think it's because when I first started, I was just sending people.
Yeah.
And so we just thought kind of, messing with me a little bit. I'm like, dang, you won't talk to me no more. Because I was sitting in your crowd. And then that's when I learned about the down payment assistance and how all of that kind of takes effect on you guys. And I was like, oh, well, that's not fair. I don't want to send you all my down payment assistance and then I'm sending you the good stuff.
Right.
So I try to
down payment assistance is good stuff too, but we understand our 6 million. Shay loves down payment assistance. She loves all clients, but we talking about people with money that got, other stuff. It's another conversation. We don't want to feel like, she's stereotyping nobody. She's not. She loves it. She says a place in her heart for buyers.
No, but I did a TikTok on a down payment assistance because people will have the money and want down payment assistance.
It ain't for you.
That's not for you. Yeah. So that's the only reason why I'm just like, come on now.
You're making it harder than it needs to be.
Right.
But agents are being told like that's lender's thing. Not to no.
Right.
I teach my agents the you guys process.
Right.
So they won't go off on you because they don't understand. Right. So I go from the admin to the loan officer to the processor to the underwriter, just what that looks like for them. So they can be like,
where'd you find her?
Arkansas.
That's a place? Is that a place? Maybe I need to visit Arkansas.
Arkansas.
She found you. You ain't gonna. She said she found you. You trying to take it for found me. You was in Douglasville. Then it just you was from Arkansas too. Then that whole Pine Bluff connection thing that y'all probably did something like that. But
we do want to close it out because we got stuff to do.
We don't want to close it out, but this could go on.
It really could.
You've dropped too many jewels for us. Like we got to delve into some of those in a little bit more in depth.
These are top producer jewels that y'all didn't hear. This is not no rinky-dink jewels. Go
right. Exactly. But before we let you go, we have a segment called Shoot Your Shot.
Okay.
Where it's pretty much like where we at 8 million? Our 8 million viewers.
Okay.
Our 8 million viewers. This is pretty much like your 30-second Super Bowl ad. So you can talk to the people and let them know.
It is your 30-second Super Bowl ad.
Exactly. So this is like pretty much your commercial. Why should they be working with Shay Gray in order to either list their house, buy their house, whatever their real estate needs are? Why should they be?
Okay, here's my commercial.
How do they find you as well?
Yes, follow me on Instagram at Shay Gray Sales, ShayGraysels. You can find lots and lots of information, commercials, credit scores that you kind of need. Again, just not taking anything away from you guys, but you really want a realtor that's very educated about not only the lender process, what's going on in the market, and have a big support team. So at Gray & Co Realty, we are one of the best teams. We're very humble. We really love to educate everyone, and we really work with our hearts. So that's going to be the biggest piece. We're not just trying to get some money. We're really trying to create a new generation wealth for us.
Gotcha. If they want to call you, what number do they call? What's the best?
They call me at 678-900-0112.
And your Instagram again?
Shay Gray Sales.
And your website?
www.graycorealty.com.
Yes. We'll have all that information at the bottom here. So thank you once again for coming.
I'm coming back.
Definitely.
We can do this all day. I'm sure. I'm only like 23 minutes down the road.
Definitely coming back. We got a client threshold. You got to exceed to get a second invite. I don't know. Jimmy got to check your numbers to see if she passed. Okay. I'll keep it shut. But yes, thank you. It was great having you.
Have fun.
I really felt like an outsider today because y'all tried that Arkansas thing, but I won't hold that. What was that? Some hidden signal Arkansas.
Yeah.
All right. Again, this is the Weedham Brothers podcast. That is Jimmy Hicks. I am Anthony Rogerson. This is Shay Gray.
Shay Gray.